So welcome to this email writing workshop. I'm so excited to host this because I wish when I was starting in my 9 to 5, there was this workshop available, because I think nobody teaches us how to write emails that influence people to do certain things. In fact, nobody talks about emails ever. It's apparently assumed that everybody knows how to write emails. But if you look at your inbox right now, you will see well-written emails. You can tell these are the people who know what they're doing. And you will see really poorly written emails and people that just word vomit, or people that have no clue what they're doing and why did they write this email. There are also emails in your inbox that you never open because you know this person never has any value to add to your life and they always leave you confused. Then there are also those passive aggressive email writers that just write one sentence, and if you ask them a question, they say yes, like literally yes. They take time to write yes. I saw a colleague who did that, and it was so annoying because he would say things like, I have this, I got this, or okay, that's it. And I was like, wait, I wrote like a 2-page email and you responded with an okay, like what's going on? So there are many types of email writers, and I know you know all of them. However, none of us are taught how to do this well. And because of that, not only do we chip away at our confidence, especially women, because women tend to crave for rewards and appreciation, and I think humans in general, but women more so, so that they know they're doing the right thing, that if somebody ghosts our email, if somebody doesn't do what we ask them to do, we feel like it's our fault. And then it starts a cycle of self-doubt that is not healthy. On top of it, the other issue is that you're leaving a lot of opportunities on the table, because let's say you want your team to do something and they don't do it. That means you fail and your project fails, right? And if your project fails, that means you don't get rewarded for it at the review. And then if you don't get rewarded for it, that means you don't get promoted. And then you sabotage your career. So email writing is super, super important, that you could create a personal brand that people love and respect. And then on top of it, people do what you ask them to do so that you can get the results that you need, and so that you can get promoted and get the rewards that you truly deserve. Not the fake rewards of a response or just an email, but a real reward of growing in your career. Email writing was one of the things I spent time on, and it got me so much in my life, in my career. It was so great. Now I'm using the same skill in my business, and it's helping me as well. So email writing is a very, very important skill. Now, in today's workshop, we're only talking about emails at work, at your 9 to 5 mostly, but this will support everybody's goals. There'll be some ideas about email marketing if you're a business person, if you're somebody who runs an online business. And then towards the end, if we have a few minutes left, I'll talk a little bit about the email writing that can help you in your marketing side of things, if you're somebody with a side hustle, or if you run a coaching business, or any of those things. But today's main focus is 9 to 5 email writing. And again, it'll help every single one of you. It's not just if you are in 9 to 5 today, but it's really good to just understand what makes for a good email. And most of these things you'll be able to actually use as well in your outside work stuff. Okay, so hold on, I'm just looking here and there only because I want to zoom in on this page so we can see this properly. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, let's try it. I hope you can see it. If you can't see it, then I think you should be able to see it, right? Okay, perfect. So why can't I zoom in? I'm just trying to zoom into this. Let's try it. Okay, again, I'm just trying to zoom in. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Can't I zoom in? Okay, I found it. Sorry about that. I feel like, why did it take so long? All right. Okay, perfect. So let's see. Okay, now you can see it, right? So awesome. So I'm going to start with an example. Okay, this is an example that I just created based on, something that my client had sent and something I've personally done too in my life. So this is the sample email. This is probably how you start writing today. So this is your present state. So let's read it. This person is saying, module team, can we understand what is the problem with this particular tool? Maybe in their subject line, they have said, tool failure or something. And they have a specific tool, and that they feel like they know what they're talking about, and their team knows the tool that they're talking about. So we're going to just leave it as particular tool. Maybe it's X tool, right? What I understand is there is a tray that's malfunctioning in the production line that marks the piece as defective, even though there are no issues with the piece. If this false alarm continues, the software that calculates the defect rate will learn to bypass this false alarm, and we can end up missing actually defective pieces downstream. So other than the manufacturing overriding this, can we further nail down what is wrong with the tool? So this person is trying to explain the problem, and they're also trying to say how the problem can affect the downstream operation. And then they're saying something around what can we do about it, right? And team B, they have another task for team B. They're saying, since we own this issue, I need your help to schedule a short meeting with the tool owner to understand this further. All right, so take a minute to maybe think about what's wrong with this email. Maybe you could do it on your paper. Maybe you can comment in the comments below if you're watching this later. What is wrong with it? One, it's hard to understand. Of course, don't worry, because you're not, you don't know a lot about the context. So let's just assume that you do. And let's assume you know what the tool is, you know what the defect is, you know all the things that are going on, but still you're unable to maybe get what the person is trying to say, correct? We all write emails like this, by the way. So there is a lot of confusion. Maybe that's what you're noticing. Maybe there is a lot of stuff that's being asked from the people that are on the email, right? So she's saying, can we understand what is the problem with the tool? Can we further nail down what is wrong with the tool? Then she's saying, should we set up a meeting? Who's going to set up the meeting? Let's set up the meeting. So a lot of asks and a lot of unclear outline of what is happening, right? And remember, even if you know what's going on, even if you know what the issue is, even if you work in this special company, that the sample company that we are looking at, even if you know, it might be very difficult for you to make context make sense of it, because it's sort of missing a little bit of context. What's happening, right? And so there is a lot of issues with emails like this. And in fact, you could go back to your inbox and check. You may have written an email like this too. Because again, we write emails so mindlessly at times that we don't even have any strategy. We don't have any system. We don't have any process in place to write them. We just write whatever's on our mind, and we just like type. And then we say all the things we want to say, and then we just send, and then nobody gets back. One of the things I was told by this person is that they, because I sort of made it up from somebody else's email, but they said that this team never responded to them for 2 weeks. And their manager got mad at them because they are like, how come this problem is not resolved yet? And her response was, because nobody responds to my emails. Now, the manager's response should have been, let's fix your emails. But the manager response is, how come you don't know this already? Why don't people respond to your email? Oh, she's not a good leader. Oh, she's not going to get promoted. Oh, this is not a good employee. You see what I mean? How this one email can affect your career, right? So how can we fix it? I want you to first understand the importance of emails. If you're writing vague emails, if you're writing emails that are not concise, clear, to the point, and you're not getting responses back, your manager is not going to come there, hold your hand and show you how to write emails. Your manager is going to say, go figure it out. So let me help you figure this out. All right. So the issues with this email, let's figure this out. And I know you may have come up with similar points, but one is the big problem of who is this specifically referring to? The problem is, if you're going to start talking in teams, and in this email, this person had actually tagged like 30 people. You, right? If you don't specifically refer to somebody, don't expect a response, because not the whole team is going to respond. If there are 9 people, they're too busy, and they're not going to say, Sandra, can you respond to this? That's not their job. That's your job to figure out who on the team is responsible for this. Who can I reach out to? Maybe it'll require a little bit of research. Maybe you send an email to somebody you already talked to and be like, hey, do you know who handles this tool? And they can already send you a name. That'll save you so much headache. So you have to be very specific as to who are you referring this to. What is the intent of this email? Like, what is the intent? I can't tell, honestly. If I'm their manager, I would be equally upset, because I'd be like, what do you want from me? It seems like you want the world from me. You want my entire team to work on this tool. Then you're asking them to do something, root cause analysis for you. You're also asking them to schedule a meeting. What the hell? This is a lot of stuff. So the intent is not clear. In this case, is it to ask someone else to set up this meeting? Or is it to ask for collaboration to solve a problem? Or is it to just share the problem? Which one? Pick one. You have to get clear about the intent of the email, and you have to be concise in the call to action, CTA. What do you want this person to do for you? Again, the reason they're not doing anything for you, before, of course, leadership and all that other stuff, the reason you're not influencing them is because you're not clear and detailed and concise in your ask. So first, ask better. All right. Intent, set the intent. Okay, my intent is to just share the problem in this email. In the next email, my intent is to set up a meeting. And in the third email, my intent is to do the root cause analysis. Either organize a root cause analysis or do it via email. I don't think you can do root cause analysis via email because it's such a big ask. Again, this is such a big ask. Can we nail down this tool? No, I don't have the time. How do you want me to do it? And this person, by the way, was a quality person. So if a quality person is going to ask another team to nail down the root cause, forget about it. They're never going to do it. That's your job, to organize a root cause analysis. You see what I mean? So think through the intent. Think through what are you trying to get out of this? Think through. Am I trying to ask for collaboration? Am I actually wanting to solve the problem on the email? Again, maybe not. Am I trying to just share the problem and invite responses on, I invite you to send me some ideas? You see what I mean? There could be so many ways, right? Or it could just be a choose an option. Would you guys like me to set up a call? Or do you think we can exchange notes via email? Ask them, what would they prefer, right? You have to be mindful about your audience and their time, and you have to be clear about the intent of the email. And in your call to action, that should be precisely listed. In fact, I would say intent and ask. Actually, what is the ask? What do you want? Most of the emails that you don't get response for, you have not listed the ask properly. I can assure you, go back to your emails, the ones that didn't get a single response, look at it. Was I clear in what I wanted to ask? And did I ask one thing or like the whole world? Because this person here asked for the whole world. And that's why they didn't get a response. All right. I also don't like the fact that they didn't put their signature under it. All right. Your name should always be on it. I'm guessing that they had a company signature, but I always feel like it's more personal if you just write your first name. So that's also missing. What is the timeline? See, they didn't mention the timeline, which annoys managers, because they're like, what do you want? How soon do you want it? What is the urgency? Right? The next one is, what's the urgency? Why is this important to me and my team? Why do I care? You care because you're in quality. What do I care? What is the timeline? How soon do you need it? The call to action, again, has to be concise and specific and to the point. And you should tell me, I need the response in 24 hours, or this is required in the next 2 days, or this is important in the next 2 months, whatever. Times are important, specificity. What is the urgency? How urgent it is for me and my team to work on it? Because remember, don't you have 1,000 things to do in your 9 to 5? Why do you think others are just sitting there to answer your questions? That is disrespectful to them, right? So I highly invite you to focus on this part really, really well, and definitely think about the urgency and what was the subject. So in this case, again, the subject is not clear. Subject is a place where you could say a lot of the story already if you can write a good subject line. A good subject line will also make the team open the email, right? So these are all very important criteria of email writing. And as I showed you an example of like what a wrong email could look like or bad email could look like, and what are the issues with it. So let's look at how to fix it, right? So you always want to start with, now we're going to rewrite this email. I rewrote this email for what the future of this email looks like. And that's what you want to take away from our call today, is how do you write better emails? So now you're going to start with specific person, right? So we are actually saying, specifically who is the I'm just take an example, but how you found out, like you messaged somebody and said, who handles this tool in your team? And they said, Sandra does. All right. So hi, Sandra and team. If you really want to specify, otherwise, if I know for sure that Sandra is the only trust, she can involve her team. Trust that she can involve the right people. Okay. Then you want to say, last week we got a major quality complaint where we recognize that there is a false alarm in this particular tool. Okay, so in this specific tool. So here we established context. All right, so we just have to always give context. We always have to give context that where is this coming from? What is it? What are you talking about? Like in here, there is no context. I have no clue what is happening, why you want me to work on it. But as soon as I add slight, small 2 to 3 sentences of context, that helps the other person help me. Okay, so the first thing is context. Last week, and now we're stating the exact tool. This issue has already led to over 100K in quality issues and is expected to create further issues downstream if unchecked. Here comes your urgency. Again, context, but also urgency. That look, if you don't fix it, like if we all don't fix it, that then it's going to cause us issues. And this is trying to say here, see, this is what they were trying to say in this sentence, but look how nice this sentence is. This issue has already led to specific amount of issues and is expected to create further issues downstream. Don't try to explain the whole thing. Like don't word vomit and just say everything on your mind. Be mindful. Okay, so now here is some of her details, right? So now we're going to start writing some details. So this person knows what we're talking about in detail. As you can tell here, she starts to tell the details early on, and that confuses everybody. But now Sandra is like, all right, context, urgency, check, check, details. I'm doing some further research on my end. I found out that 2 to 3 days, if this continues to, you can explain this finding further because of course this is a sample email, but you can explain your findings further. If this continues to happen, we will lose a lot of manufacturing time and will continue to pass the defect to the customer. See, now these are the details. All right. And here are my recommendations. All right. So we are going to provide recommendations because in this case, they had a recommendation for every. All right. So in this case, she had some recommendations. In fact, she was making the recommendations here. In this convoluted paragraph, there were some recommendations, but when we write this email properly, she's going to mention the recommendations in bullet points. You want to always bullet point it because bullet points will change your life. I'm not kidding. If you start writing in bullet points, the people that are reading your emails, one will read them out of interest, but they will also be able to take away the gist of it without having to read everything. So here are my recommendations. Your team and I get together to further discuss the root cause of this issue. I can set up some call for quick chat. Okay, so you're suggesting let's get together for the root cause. Remember, she was trying to say it here in this weird sentence. Now she's saying it concisely. You and I can sit and discuss the root cause, or I will request Mr. X from team A to meet us for further review of the tool in question. I think we should do both of these things. She's saying recommendation for the next step. One is root cause, one is let's talk to this particular person. So here it was, let's talk to this particular person and root cause, and nobody got anything what she was saying. Here it's super clear. Now she's establishing urgency one more time, and she's starting to conclude with a call to action. So this is conclusion. All right. And this is, all right. So this is an urgent matter because the amount of QA complaints and the possible risk of ongoing issues. She's just reestablishing what she already said before. And then she is literally asking call to action. She's so clear here. She's perfectly saying exactly what she wants from this email, how she wants them to respond. She's making their life easy by saying, I appreciate your prompt attention to this matter and look forward to speaking with you next week. So that means next week I'll set up a call. Remember, she said, I'm going to set up a call for next week, right? And then I'll send the meeting invitations right away. Please let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. Thank you. And you want to sign it. Does that make sense? So much different from this mess to this wonderfully crafted email. My God, your company is going to love you. People will respond. People will, in this case, she was just making her aware, and this person can prepare for the meeting. When she sets up the meeting, she's not requesting a lot of responses. She's just letting everybody know, look, this is what we're working on. All right. And in the subject line here, what they would want to put is, and let's put the subject line. In the subject line, what you want to put here is literally saying project name or tool malfunction, right? Tool. So I think the tool's called SSP tool malfunction, QA issue, something like that. Right? Something like that. You want to do something like that. Then, because the owner of the tool is going to see it quickly and they're going to say, oh my God, my tool's malfunctioning, what's going on, right? This is how you want to write it, so that person instantly knows what it is that they want from you. All right. Or another way to write a good email subject would be request for review of SSP tool. You see, we're being very, very concise and very, very specific about what we're asking in the email, in the subject line. And that's it. And that's it. In fact, this person did this in real life. They actually did it. They got a response. They got on the meeting. In fact, within like 4 weeks, when she constantly sent better emails out, she started getting collaboration from the teammates. And in fact, she also applied for a quality manager job, and she was considered for it. She didn't get it, but she was able to interview for it, because only because of the email writing part, but she was so confident because of the good email writing practices that she felt confident to apply for it too. So you don't realize, again, a bad email is doing so much damage to you, your confidence and your communication and your collaboration and your results, that is totally not worth it to ignore this skill. All right. So I hope that was fun to see, and I hope you really, really spend time understanding how to write better emails. So again, I just want to leave you with some good practices of how to write better emails. First thing is set an intention for the email in your mind. This email is intended to get my point across and show others why this is important to them, right? So this is the intention of this prior email, but you always want to set an intention. It's so important. I can't stress this enough. Always think, what's in it for others? Not for me, but for the other team. What are the benefits of taking my suggestion? You have to be mindful. See, nobody cares what you want. Everybody cares what they want. So always keep them in mind. All right. Be specific in the ask and avoid phrases like, I need your help, or I want you to do this. When will you do this for me? You and I doesn't fly well. Words that are vague don't help. You got to always be specific. I would love for you to set up a meeting, or let's set up a meeting, or I'll set up a meeting for next week is better than literally, like she said it right here, right? I'm going to set up a meeting to further discuss it. Here she said, can we set up a meeting? What? I need your help to set up a meeting. Wait, why? Can't you not set up a meeting? Do you not know how to do it? Don't outsource the task that is menial. Don't waste people's time for that. Just set up the freaking meeting. And I know sometimes it's like, but then, well, who will do my job? Why is it my job? No, it's not your job. You're going above and beyond, but you're going above and beyond in the right way. Because when you need their help is to find the root cause. You don't need their help to set up a meeting. Pay attention to what's in it for you in the long term. And don't just, you'll never get promoted with that attitude. Never. All right. And again, the next one is, when you lead with, I want you to do something, most likely nobody will do anything for you. We're all motivated by our own needs and our own egos. We don't like to take orders from anyone. What we need is someone who cares for us and considers our perspective as well. I can't stress this enough. Nobody will do what you want them to do. Your husband doesn't do what you want them to do. Your partner doesn't do what you want them to do. Your dog doesn't do what you want them to do. So why do you expect a stranger at work to do what you want them to do? Right? Instead, be collaborative in your ask. Instead, be soft in your ask and specific and strategic in what you want this person to do. To start with the facts, then words like, I think if you approach this problem with production support, we can help the production team to produce more volume in less time. Again, just start with facts. Like she did a good job here. She started with some facts here. See, quality facts, context, very, very important. Always restate facts. Never assume, again, you may want to restate these a few times. Never assume that people know why it's urgent. Don't. Just restate it. Look, 3 sentences can change the way this person reads the email. You leave these sentences out, they don't care about your problem. Makes sense? Always at specific dates and the reasoning behind the urgency. You cannot tell people this is due tomorrow without telling them why. Okay, so be very mindful of that. And I just want to leave you 3 rules that I learned in my career and also in my sales career in the last 2-3 years that I've been writing emails and selling things and marketing things, is that people are really, really busy. Like they are not ignoring you because they are a villain and you're a hero. Stop making that narrative. Just remember they're so busy. Just you are so busy. So if you write a nice email like this is a proof of the fact that you care about them. This is a very respectful thing to do, is to care for other people's time and realize that they're very, very busy. Understand that people have complicated lives. Maybe they didn't get back to you because they missed your email. Maybe they didn't get back to you because their child is sick. Maybe they didn't get back to you because they're sick. Maybe they didn't get back to you because they're on the verge of being fired. Like, you don't know their lives, and stop assuming that they're doing everything to harm you. Stop dividing yourself. In a corporate environment, even in life, you're only going to succeed. And a true leader is only the person who's a true leader is not the person who divides people, it's the person who unites people, who brings people together, who collaborates, who puts his ego aside and get things done for the greater good of the organization. And then you get promoted left and right. I promise you. Start with that intent. And stop assuming that people are just being mean to you because they're mean. And then you make opinions about them. And then you create divide amongst yourself. And then you don't benefit. They don't benefit and you don't benefit and you hate going to work. So why do it? Be nice. Not be like a rug, but be nice. That means understand that people are busy and have complicated life. And finally, people don't owe us anything in return. Nobody owes you anything. Sad, huh? They need to work on this topic, but they don't owe you anything. They owe something to the manager, they owe something to the company, but you personally, nothing. So instead of being upset with them, instead of being like, oh my God, this person doesn't care and they never do what I asked them to do, stop making excuses and start being mindful and start being a leader and start guiding people into what you want them to do and see their behavior change. I have tested this with multiple of my clients. In fact, one of my clients, when she started writing good emails, she got the highest bonus that was available that year. And a few months later, she was offered a chief of staff position. It's crazy what's possible when you write good emails. I myself have gotten so many wonderful projects done because I was able to write good emails. And I didn't let people get under my skin when they didn't respond. I just improved my writing skills. I just found ways to bring them to the table, not push them away. Does that make sense? So I hope that this simple workshop helps you write better emails, grow in your 9 to 5, and find that leadership inside of you that's really waiting to shine. I'm telling you, this is a life-changing skill. So if you enjoyed this workshop, put a comment below and invite your friends to join this Facebook group so they can enjoy workshops like this as well. So with that, see you next week. If you're interested in having me as your coach and help you lead a fantastic 9 to 5 career where you're getting promoted, where you're getting appreciated, where you're making more money, our clients make anywhere from 20 to 150% more salaries within the first year. Like, it's really, really common. Okay. And if you want that future for yourself, book your Epic Clarity call. We have very few spots in July because we have some re-enrollments, we have some new people joining, and yeah, the spots are going to fly. So please don't miss out this opportunity. Book your call, and I cannot wait to talk to you and see you inside the academy. Bye-bye.